Milsurp Garage. The Colt Automatic Target Pistol. I know you want me to call it the Woodsman. But as you may have heard, there is a group of these called the Pre-Woodsman. I'll explain that. But for now, I have no choice but to call this what it really is. The Colt Automatic Target Pistol. John Browning design. Blowback, concealed hammer, 22 caliber, single action, semi-auto, 6 5/8 inch barrel, 10 round magazine, manufactured in 1923. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. John Browning was alive. 1926 was John Browning's departure from this planet. And I had wanted these for a long time. Well, I wanted these for a long time, but I had this like thing in my head that it just had to be one that Browning could conceivably have been hanging out at the Colt factory that day and walked over to the line of brand new manufactured pistols, picked one up and just checked it out, you know. Made sure everything looked up to his standards. By the way, she gone. We just gotta make sure. I mean, I don't have to know that John Browning actually did that. I just want to know that, you know, it was possible. So, 1923 vintage. Let's get into these things timeline-wise so that we could really get into really looking at just how awesome they really are. Let's get these numbers out of the way. So there were 3 series of these things. Series 1, 1915 to 1923. That was the this one right here. And it was, where's my paperwork? It was called the Woodsman starting in 27, okay? So from 1915 to 1926, it's almost like they wanted to call it the Woodsman Colt, and Browning was like, absolutely not. And then, like, as soon as he died, they stamped Woodsman on it. That's kind of like why I wanted to get one that didn't say Woodsman. Is it a coincidence that in 27, the year after he died, they called it the Woodsman? I don't think he liked that name. He never had, like, silly names on his guns. You know, they called like the both like the pocket hammerless. Didn't say that on it. You know, it's like he just liked sound like John Browning would like Colt Automatic Target Pistol. Sounds like what he would like. Well, anyway, I'm not going to call Colt on that, but from 27 to 47, the rest of the years for that first series, it was called the Woodsman. Second series is 47 to 55. I give you a little quick. This is how you could tell. This is how you could tell the difference between these series. Well, let me give you the third series. So 47 to 55 is the second series. Third series was 55 to 77, and then it was discontinued. So how could you tell the difference? Well, right away, if you see a push button mag release, like the newest push button that would be around here somewhere, right away, you know it's a second series, because those are the only ones that had that. Except, for some reason, except. That's what's weird about. No, I don't think there's an except for that button. For the first series, the serial number on the front strap has no letters, except for MT on the first series match target pistols. So if it's just numbers or it has an MT, that's the first series, with the magazine release on the bottom. The second series had the magazine release as a button. Plus, all post-World War II, second and third series have an S suffix in the serial number. Of course, except the Challenger model had the spring catch at the butt and a C suffix in the serial number. Third series, the mag release was at the heel again, and the S suffix in the serial number, or marked Huntsman or Targetsman. It's, you know, it's just, that's pretty complicated. That's confusing the hell out of everybody. Let's just put it this way. Get a first series, get a pre-1927, so it's a pre-Woodsman. These, as far as I'm concerned, no, I shouldn't say that. I know there's a lot of guys out there that have like the Huntsmans and all of that. I'll show you some of these other models later on. And check this out. Forget about all that boring stuff. Let me show you something that you've never seen before. Where did this really come from? Well, you know John Browning made the 1911, right? 1911 was our gun in war. You know, that was our World War I military adopted firearm. They wanted a training gun. So Browning made this. So 1913 that we first, 1915 is when, you know, this guy first came out, 15. So there's only a few years after 1911. And they wanted in 1911, 1912, so let's say 13, they wanted a training gun. Browning invented this. Look at it. Nobody's ever seen this before. You think that the Woodsman just came out of nowhere. This was the guy. This was never released. This is a picture of the gun. By the way, I want to give credit where it's due. This is the most awesome John Browning book there is. John and Browning, American Gunmaker, by John Browning and Kurt Gentry, with a second edition postscript by Colonel W.R. Betts. Listen, this book is awesome. So, this guy, this is where he took the Woodsman from. See, he made this thing, and then the military was like, it's pretty cool, but we're going to go with a conversion kit. So what is it? What's that thing called? I forget. I always see it. I'm going to buy one of those things one of these days, but the name escapes me. But it was a barrel and a magazine. It's like it turned the 45 into a, was it an ace or something like that it was called? And it's a conversion kit. They went with that for the training. So they were actually holding 45s. You know, I guess this maybe looked a little bit like, too much like the P08, which definitely, now's a good time to bring this up. I mean, yeah, and not only that, the magazine out of the Colt, okay, with this here to help thumb knob here to help you put rounds in the magazine. Okay, I don't know if you've messed with your P08s lately, but yeah, I wonder where that came from. You don't really see much John Browning borrowing, as far as I'm concerned. He was very out in front, but he was, I think John Browning secretly was enamored with the P08. I really think he was. And this grip angle here shows, and then here's the Woodsman. So what happened was, and I'm pulling this out of like, this is like, could be potentially fictional. I'm gonna give you some information that how it happened in the mind of Milsurp Garage is that he made this thing and the military was like, we're not interested. We're gonna have a conversion kit. I think he fell in love with the 22. I don't think he did much messing around with 22s. He did have some 22 rifles. I'll give you that. But even if you think about it, even those started coming along a little later on, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like not like kind of after the Woodsman, right? Most of them, sort of. Listen, I think he fell in love with this thing. He just really enjoyed how it shot and just designing it, and wanted to see it get out there. And the days of Winchester squashing his designs were long gone. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think he went to Colt and said, I got an idea for a 22. And there it was. There it was. So, where can we go from here? Well, I got this book here. This is the Collector's Guide to American Handguns by Stackpole. No, that's the publisher. by DeWitt E. Sell, PhD. Thank you, Mr. Sell. Just shows some different. This is a book from '63, I think, so it's not going to show any of the first model. These look like they're all third models made, right? Are they? Well, here's a Woodsman match target. No, maybe these are first series Woodsman target model. Woodsman. No, they're definitely not. They're not. These are. I'm pretty sure these are third. Yes, these are. I'm sorry. These are third series. The Colt Targetsman. Right. All these names. These are all like third series names. The Woodsman. Excuse me. The Woodsman Sport model. The Huntsman. I almost bought one of these recently, so I would have had a third model one here to like put in the video, but I just couldn't. The condition just wasn't. It was just a little below condition where I would have wanted it, and the money was just a little bit too high. But maybe one of these days. But I just feel so loyal to this guy, and I'm going to explain to you why soon. Still digging into the info here. This book. This is the book. Man, you got to get this book. This Colt Book of, wow, can I fit this in here? Book of Colt Firearms by R.L. Wilson. And there's a new edition of this book. It's on like Amazon or whatever. It's this one is signed to Jack Shallock. If you're out there, Jack, I got your book. And if you want it, you're going to have to pay a terrible price. So something tells me that Jack Shallock has long passed. Yeah, this is the second edition. There's a third edition of this book now. But this book, first edition was in '71. Second edition is in '93. And now there's a third one. This book is, I should zoom out a little bit. This book is amazing. Look at just look at it. Just gaze upon its awesomeness. And I think it's more color stuff now. Well, when we get to the Woodsman section, here's our timeline for the first series right here. I think this is just first series. See, when in '43, when the war came along, they stopped making these guys. That's what knocked it from first series to second series. Because I think second series, do we have like a... Yeah, like second series doesn't start till 47, see? So there was that gap there till after the war. So since our serial number is in the 34.6 range, we're 1923. So if you're above, just so you know, if you're above 51,000, you're out of the John Browning was alive territory. If, you know, it matters to you as much as it mattered to me. And look at that pencil barrel on this thing, huh? That's the thing about it. Let's get through this. Let's get through some of these cool pictures and some of this cool info so we can look at all the different models, you know, and this. Look at the shoulder stock here. That's rare. That's rare right there. Here. That's what it looked like. There's some, look at this down here, another thing, something else that you've never seen before. All you collectors out there, an experimental Woodsman model automatic target pistol with a 4.5-inch barrel, adjustable weights, and trigger stop, never entered into production. It's a Colt advertising photograph. So I don't even think it exists. It might have even only been in this looks like it's art. You know, this might be even just a drawing only. Because, but who knows? One of those might be up in the Browning Museum too. Look at the scrolling here. Oof. And so here, I think we move into the second series here, possibly. Look at these compensated barrels. All the ads. First model match target. No, I guess we're still in the first. Sorry, we were still in the first model all over here. Here's second. For target shooters and sportsmen, the match target by Colt. Challenger, the Huntsman. Those were like cheaper versions of it, I think. You know, they had all different kinds of versions. Some of them have this thumb rest here. Some not. All of them are amazing. It's like kind of like a bull barrel going on here. So that's the Colt Book of Firearms. Go look through all your books. You're gonna find a million pictures of this guy. And it wasn't just that Browning Bard from the P08, because then when this came out and how as popular as this was, it wasn't just Browning that did that. The P08 was very borrowable because Bill Ruger, he did the same thing himself. Look at the grip angle. Look at the grip angle. I mean, yeah, he's copying. You know, come on. This is a theme. This is a theme of them, of a lot of copying going on with the P08. Makes you realize that a gun collection just is not complete with one of these now, is it? Because, you know, because of that. But, like, none of them have this awesome toggle lock thing going on. This could very easily turn into a P08 video. So let's stay focused. What do we shoot out of this thing? That's what we shoot out of this thing. That's it. Do not shoot anything more powerful than CCI standard velocity. Should be just over 1,000 feet per second. I believe it to be subsonic. Right? Isn't it 1,070 feet per second subsonic? I'm pretty sure. I think you got to stay subsonic. And 40 grain, you'll be okay here forever. I mean, it'll shoot these forever. Now, don't think with CCI you have to be boring, because like if you want to do like a little hunting, you know, like small game hunting, you know, like clipping some, I don't know, if you got like big rats roaming around that you want to blow away or something, you got this 40 grain small game segmented hollow point quiet 22 stuff, 710 feet per second. This is definitely safe for the gun and safe for, you know, for your basement or whatever, you know. That's why they do that. Then here's this, some 710 feet per second normal stuff. They just call it quiet 22. And you know, I'm not a sponsor of CCI. If CCI is not your thing, just make sure you stay, like, here's some Remington stuff, you know, you just stay in this range, this subsonic, this weak stuff. Don't get crazy. Don't start stingering out over here, or you're gonna don't get any stingers. You're gonna hurt it, you know, because you could feel it. It feels like it'll last forever, but it does feel fragile. I mean, it's not, when you pull the slide back, there's no real, it's not one of these wrestling guns. I mean, it's perfect for kids too, just because it's so smooth. You know, it's just straight blowback, so you're gonna beat the hell out of it with, if you start hearing some real loud metal slapping when you're shooting, your rounds are too hot, you know what I mean? It should just be nice and smooth. You should hear the crack of the report, but it shouldn't be that you know, that hypersonic crack. It should be the subsonic muted snap of the 22, and you shouldn't hear the slide slamming back hard, you know what I mean? It has a nice thumb safety here that also locks the slide. That's, like, you know, real positive, easy to reach with your thumb. You know, this one has it's like a fixed rear sight, but it has a screw here where you could supposedly raise and lower, kind of like this screw here releases it. Supposedly, I looked into it a little bit. It didn't really seem to move much for me, but supposedly this screw here releases it, and then you turn that screw there, and then it goes up and down. It's kind of like knurled in the front here, like as if you could push it with your thumb. It's way low. It needs to come up much higher for me, but because it's shooting way high, but I can't adjust it any higher. So it would be like a different front sight blade, or I just like Kentucky windage it when I'm shooting, you know. But for a target pistol, I don't know, those sights, they leave a lot to be desired. It's not like even the sights on here. We had the Ruger. These sights are These sights are better. No, these are not adjustable at all. But the this is the most bargain basement Ruger. You get like one of the Ruger pistols that steps up a little bit to adjustable sights. I mean, it's worlds above, you know, what's going on here with this Colt. But let's see, should we get brave and take it apart? You know how it is with taking apart the Mark III. Well, I think the reason why Bill Ruger didn't care about making the Mark III so crazy is because he was like, well, look at the Woodsman, what goes on there. You know, because you have this in the back here, this thing that you pop out, and it's really hard to get it all back together. If you've never messed with that before, it's a little bit of a nightmare. But let's do it. I'll show you how to do it. So you got the slide here and this button on the top. People, they wonder what this button is. They think it's like a slide hold open. It sort of kind of is, but not really, because if you push it all the way back and you press the button, the slide does kind of stay back. So a lot of people think it's a slide hold open. That's not what it's for, because the slide is not really held open. What it does is, see how it's so floppy now? But it doesn't hold it open. It can close, and if you pull it back, it'll release again and be back springy. What this does is it captures that spring, the recoil spring, so that you can go back here. Now back here, also this thumbprint thing here, there's two different ways that it looks. I'm not 100% sure of the two differences. That's why I'm not going to tell you which is which, but if this is a certain look, means supposedly you could fire higher powered ammo. That's what they say. And then if it looks another certain way, it's for the lower. So they changed this thumbprint to let users know you could step up to a more powerful round. But even back then, the more powerful round was probably this stuff. That's what I'm telling you. So trust me when I tell you, no matter what you hear people say, like, oh, you have the mark here that says you can, shut up. Just use the standard velocity. Trust me. What do you need to prove with, like, you know, higher powered 22? So here's the story. When this is loose like this now, I really hope this doesn't turn into a nightmare, but you press this. You just press it. You just, with your finger, you just, yeah, didn't do anything. You press it. It almost did it. There it goes. So you see it pops out of there. Oh no. All right, what happens now? I forgot. All right, so this comes out. And then I think there's like a spring. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of forgot where that goes. I forgot how that goes. And so there's a spring. This is a spring. And then I guess, yeah, then this just can come off. So this is what's a little scary, is that inside of, I gotta get this light over here. I didn't want much glare, but you can't really see anything. Let's zoom in a little bit. So there's that captured spring right up there. See, that's a little scary, because then you see the button here is connected to this, you know, to that sheet metal there. And if you see, the serial number is in there on the slide. Does it match? Yes, it does. And you know, there we go. There's your hammer. There's your internal hammer there. So it does have a hammer. Here's the this is what makes the hammer springy. It's connected to this spring here. The little control rod. What would you call that? And whoops, sorry. Nice little feed ramp there. Real cool looking chamber. See how, like, the slide just thumps right up against bare steel there, steel to steel. So you see that breech vase takes that. It's almost like it's made out of the same type of steel that, like, a railroad track is made out of. It's good stuff, you know. So yeah, there we go. I mean, if you really wanted to mess around, you could pop this extractor out of there. The firing pin, you could get the firing pin out of there pretty much with that screw right there. Take it out, it's captured with that screw. I did take that stuff out. I made the mistake of relaxing that spring off of there so I could get in that channel that spring rides in and clean that out. But then it was very, very difficult to get the spring back in and back behind that keeper so I could put it back together. This is the only way to put it back together is in this condition. So try that at your own risk. And this iced coffee, I got this Chameleon iced coffee, is like rocket fuel. I love this stuff. I miss you guys. You know, it's been a while. Listen, don't think I'm turning my back on you. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. This channel's weird. It's like supernova. You know what I mean? It like it cools off for a while, and I get busy. You know what I mean? But I acquire stuff. I get in there. I have enough content for the whole entire summer. I'm telling you, I'm either gonna burn all that content in a week, or I'm gonna be able to, you know, restrain myself and just let a little bit out. I know we did a couple of promos and I hinted at some stuff that I have, but it's like, they just haven't felt right yet. And you know, it just hasn't felt right to do them yet. I don't have enough info yet. And I really just want to, like, you know, feel them out. I just want to, I shouldn't do promos because I only really want to do the video when I feel that it's right. So if I do a promo and then it takes 6 months, you know, it seems like I'm, all right, let's get back into it. Let's see. Let's put it back together. It's going to be really tough from this angle. But this, especially when that angle isn't on camera. Sorry. So that goes in there. And I'm pretty sure, yes, it sits right up against there. I'll see if I remember how to do this now. And I think the hammer has to sit forward. And that makes that go in there. Oh wait, but you can't do that without the slide on, of course. So you have to have the slide on. Don't ever let that spring. So then the hammer has to go forward. This same exact thing with forgetting to put the bolt in, the slide on, and then it falling apart happens every single time. All right, so now I think you have to have the hammer forward, but that under that rod come up. All right, up that rod, the right. So that's under, the hammer's up. Then that goes in here, and then you just push. Did I do it? I did it. That was pretty good. I'm good. I did that good. Let's load it up. Let's get some, no, careful with that. Hello, YouTube moderators. We are using snap caps here. My 22 snap caps. Unfortunately, I don't have realistic snap caps in 22. They don't make them because they're all about center fire. You know, they have their silicone primers. If you don't know, these guys are not a sponsor of mine per se. I don't get money from them is what I mean. But my channel supports them because their product is awesome. And they like to send me snap caps to show you guys and to, you know, help support the channel. They support me. I support them. There's absolutely no monetary anything changing hands in either direction, which this is the ultimate of support. You know, that's true support. You know, like you could have subscribers, but supporters, that's the real importance. Like, you know, when you have companies, I mean, like supporting you, you know, the subscribers, you can't have a channel with subscribers, but when you have supporters, these are realistic snap caps. Here's some of our new additions that we're going to be featuring. 300 mag, 300, what is it, 300 Remington Magnum? 300 Winchester mag. I got those, and then where's these crazy ones? I wrote all this down so I would be able to feature them without having to actually read them. So I'm not even familiar with this one. It's 458 SOCOM. They make these. These are wild. What are these guys? These guys are 7.5 by 54. French. This is French. These new ones here. And we're going to be having a collab with these guys. And we're going to be having something fresh and new just for us from Realistic Snap Caps. But check these things out. I hate to show other snap caps and not give these guys props, but they don't do 22s as of yet. If they made 22s like this out of brass, they would just get all dogged by firing pins. And 22 snap caps are a pain in the ass. These, they're the crappy aluminum ones that I don't like, but the only reason they survive is because you're not dropping hammers on them. You know, where you would destroy them. I don't, or I would destroy them. But yeah, Realistic Snap Caps, if you check out the website, you get 10% off if you use coupon code Milsurp Garage, one word, MILSURPGARAGE. Go check them out. And I don't know, maybe we could figure out how to get some 22s. Maybe if they just make them, they drill out the center just like these guys. And if you guys drop hammers on them and you ruin them, you drop hammers on them and you ruin them. Well, you know, but maybe they'd be able to put it together. I'm going to talk to them. So yeah, so they're 10-round mags. I'm just going to throw a few of these in there just to show how incredibly smooth. First of all, I'll tell you, I get a vibe here when I put the magazine in and out of here. I get a vibe. I'm going to show you what that vibe is. It's a very Browning-ish vibe. But I'm telling you, you know, I got a lot of Browning designs. And I'm telling you that this feeling right here, it's the same feeling right here. That's the feeling. It's the same exact tolerances, the same exact feel. It feels identical to the 1903 pocket hammerless mag insert removal feel and the release. It's like very similar. Look at it. See how it's like even at the same angle, but it has that same smooth feeling. And when you cycle this thing, when you charge it, I mean, look at how smooth it is. You know 22s to be finicky with how they load, with how they feel. You know that. Look at this mag, like the follower even. It's just, this is from yesteryear. Stuff like this is gone. Look at the feed lips, how complicated that is. It's like the gills of some weird animal or something, right? Look at that. And this folded over piece of steel as the follower. It looks maybe like it would be a little tough to navigate and to use, whatever. It's smooth as silk. This thing never misfires. It doesn't matter how fast you shoot. It doesn't matter whether you hold the gun upside down, sideways, nothing matters. It's John Browning. I can tell he spent a lot of time. He spent a lot of time on this gun. He loved this gun. And you think there could be a lot of like throwaway feelings for that 22 that he would make later on in his career. This was definitely the sun-setting days of his career, you know. This thing came out in 15, he died in 26. It was like the last 10 years of his life, let's say. He's just cruising now, you know, making money on all his designs now. He was making royalties on since he parted with Winchester, and was working with FN and Colt, and he was enjoying the later days of his life, and he could really sit. He wasn't starving when he was making this. He really took his time, and it was like a labor of love. I can tell just by being a Browning head. I'm telling you that that was his goal. He wanted a smooth, soft, silky, tough as nails, refined, comfortable 22. That grip angle, there's something about that. It doesn't look like it would be comfortable. Just looking at that, you'd be like, well, here's my hand, here's the gun. That doesn't look like it's gonna work. You know what I mean? It like when you're dealing with here, let's take like Let's throw down another Browning. Let's throw down the high power. You throw down the high power, you look at it, you go, yeah, there you go. Boom, boom. Perfect. Perfect fit in my hand. My hand's facing that way. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like this feels uncomfortable. But when you look at that, you're like, wait a minute. That's not going to work. You're going to be pointed. How's that going to work? It doesn't seem like it's going to, but something happens when your hand closes around that angle. That's like the same angle if you were to just point your finger. It feels so natural, like if you were just pointing with your finger. So it's like they're very good instinct shooting guns with this grip angle. And man, this wood is so perfectly smooth and you know, just from age, I love it. And yeah, look at that pencil barrel. The scrolling on it is like so neat right across the top like that. Look at how perfect. Look at how perfect all those, see those like meeting surfaces here. Look at how perfect they all come together. Nice. Yep. He spent a lot of time. He certainly did. He certainly did. Yeah, it deserves an even closer look. And this isn't the nicest. Listen, when I got this one, it wasn't the prettiest one I saw. But there was something about this one that drew me in. Don't know what it was. It was the perfect amount of wear to the bluing that I really wasn't looking for a perfect one. I wasn't looking for an unfired one. Wasn't looking for, you could find ones that are mint. I mean, you pay a little bit for them, but it didn't matter. It wasn't the money. I didn't want one like that. I just wanted one that I was sure it was the original mag. I was sure it was all original. I wanted one thing that might not be original. I think somebody might have cut grooves in this trigger. I don't think it came like that. I think somebody did a little custom work here and grooved the trigger and put these couple of lines down here on the bottom. Weird, but I don't think that's stock. And it does look like a home job. I didn't know it had that when I bought it. I didn't even notice, but since I have it, I think I've seen they say they come with a smooth trigger. So somebody did that. Don't mind so much. I mean, actually, it's kind of cool. It does make it like a little on the grippy side. You know, it works. It's pretty cool. Don't mind it so much. Yep. The Colt Automatic Target Pistol. I almost called it the Woodsman. You know what? I'm just going to call it the Woodsman. Everyone just calls it that, so I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to be one of those guys who are like, well, cool Woodsman. I'm like, well, actually, since it was made before 1927, it's technically a Colt Automatic Target. Shut up! Exactly. I'll just call it a Woodsman. But the fact that this area right here is completely smooth and shiny with nothing written on it, in my opinion, is how John Browning wanted it. He's like, you could put your horse, you could put your prancing horse, not prancing, what is it? It's a horse with like an arrow or something. That's a really weird, there's like an arrow through. Check this out. You ever look at the Colt emblem? I don't know if this is the best one to be looking at. It's kind of, this one's a little on the crude side, but it's like a horse with an arrow in its mouth and an arrow in its paws or in its hooves or something. And it's weird. It's definitely an odd emblem. But yeah, that's what he wanted on there. That's all he wanted on there. Colt Automatic Caliber 22 long rifle. It's just a Colt Automatic. That's it. No huntsman, no targetsman, no journeyman, nothing. Campman. I'm going to shoot it tonight. That's what I'm going to do. And we're going to be back real soon. I'm going to pick a good one. I'm going to pick a good one next time around. Next time around, I got a rifle. I got a couple of handguns. I got some nice stuff. Stay tuned We're gonna be back. I'm gonna say this weekend. It's Friday right now, so I guess technically I'm gonna do another one this weekend. How do you like that? I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna probably put this up tomorrow, and I'm gonna get in here over the weekend, and then I'll edit that one down and do what needs to be done, and have that one out during the week. So stay tuned. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you all soon.